Go ahead and get started. So who am I? My name is Vincent Antunez. I own Trail Toes and Tire Trainer and Chasing Sticks and a bunch of other things, but I'm also an assistant professor at the University of North Texas Health Science Center PA program, and I have a doctorate in orthopedics, and I was one of the most deployed PAs in the Army when I was on active duty, and I probably crewed, I don't even know, hundreds of people on the road doing different things. And foot care is kind of one of those things. Even in the Army, we take it seriously, because when I was even a young infantryman back in 1980, the only way you got from point A to point B was on your feet. And if you didn't take care of your feet, you couldn't make it. So foot care has always kind of been part of my life, I think. And when I started the company in 2017, I took a couple things into consideration. Like, it wasn't just a cream. We then developed tapes and first aid kits and things like that, which we'll talk about a little bit as we go through this. So the way I like to start out this conversation is to talk about the three things that get people through a race. Doesn't matter how long it is, how short or how long. There's really three things that take a runner out, and I call them the 3 Bs. Okay, the first one is obviously your belly. If you don't take care of your belly, you're not going to be able to complete the race. And one of the reasons that most people fail is they get behind in their hydration, and they get behind in their salt, and then because of that they won't eat anything. So if you're drinking water, you got to take in salt, because that's the only way you create that osmotic variant that allows the water to go from your belly into your body. And so if you've ever heard of the slush belly, or you've seen somebody who's running, I'll look down and they're supposed to be all thin, like you're thin, and like 50 miles into a race, your belly's out to here. That means you're not taking in enough salt. So belly's the first one we usually take people out, because people can usually fight through the second one, which is blisters.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Kind of on that topic.
Yeah.
What causes sausage fingers?
So a lot of that's just, a lot of it's salt, and it's an imbalance of salt, but it's also just dependency. So you're running with your arms down here, and so your venous system has some pressure in it. It's like 12 millimeters of mercury pressure in it, but it's nothing like in the arteries. And so when you're running with your arms down here like this, that the arteries are still pushing blood down, okay, but the venous system doesn't allow it to return, which is why you get some of that third spacing that occurs. And that's why a lot of people get those blisters in the bottom of their legs, because they got fluid that's third spacing out because of just the distance that they're running. A lot of times people wear the compression socks, so they wear compression sleeves, so you're compressing that fluid coming back up your body, which is then going to third space and create those blisters. Okay.
I was just curious. People were talking about, sausage fingers being because of an imbalance in hydration and the electrolytes.
It can be, but a lot of times, again, for long distance running, it's just because you're running like this with your arms down. And if you're not, like a lot of people, really, like if you're running and you're pumping your arms like this, you're wasting energy.
Oh yeah.
Your body should be as still and as fluid as possible to not burn a lot of energy. But if you're like running like this, every muscle is burning oxygen and glucose, and you need all that stuff. So we talk about belly, and then we talk about blisters, and we'll talk about that in more later. And then we talk about so blisters. You got blisters cause pain, and that also takes people out. So having some form of pain medication also helps a little bit, especially for long distance runs. And then I leave that up to you and your provider what you choose to take for your, because there's a lot of controversy about whether or not you should take Tylenol because of the liver, and then Motrin because of the kidneys. And most of the time, if you're eating really well, none of that really matters. You can take the medication and get through it. And then so the last one, the third B, so belly, blisters, and then the last one obviously is brain. So you just quit. You're like, I can't take it anymore. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's cold. I've been there. Okay, I was the Tahoe 100. I was at like mile 65. I'm like, it's cold. I'm tired. I quit. but that was it. It was nothing was wrong with my body at all. It was all just my brain caused me to quit. So if you can control those, so a lot of times you can get your belly under control, and even if you vomit, that's okay. Just try and get stuff in. Little sips and things like that will help, and little chews of food. And that's the problem, is most of the people don't eat food. They take in their nutrition through goos and Tailwind. And if you're drinking Tailwind, you got to be careful with Tailwind, because if you mix it with like Coke and other things, it can cause your stomach to get upset in some people, not everybody, but a lot of people, there's an intolerance, like Dr. Pepper can cause problems with Tailwind, as can Coke. But the hardest one to control is your brain. And then, that's where like pacers and things like that come in. If you have a good pacer that can help you through those dark times at 2 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the morning time, which is, kind of the devil's time. So anyway, so we talk about those three things. So